The rain had started just as the last light of the evening faded behind the trees. The cabin stood quiet and old, with its wooden walls creaking gently in the cold wind. Inside, a single fire burned softly, painting the room in orange flickers of light. I sat in the same armchair I'd used for years, the one that leaned slightly to the left. The air smelled of pine and smoke. Outside, the forest whispered like an old friend telling secrets through the rain. It had been months since I last visited this place, but tonight something told me to come back. Maybe it was the weather, maybe it was just time. On the shelf, behind a stack of dusty books, I noticed an old wooden box, small, carved, and forgotten. I hadn't seen it in years. I took it down, brushed the dust off with my hand. The lock was rusted, but it gave way easily, like it wanted to be opened. Inside there was a pocket watch, a folded photo, and a note written in my own handwriting. The watch had stopped at 9:12. I smiled. I remembered that time, a rainy morning many years ago, when my boy and I tried to fix this same clock, but ended up just laughing instead. I sat back in the chair and looked at that old photograph. It was me and him, my son, standing outside this cabin, years before the roof was repaired, before the trees grew thick around us. He must have been 10, maybe 11. The smile on his face was wide enough to warm the coldest night. I remembered the sound of his small boots splashing in the mud, his laughter echoing between the trees. For a moment, the rain out felt softer. It was as if time itself had slowed down to listen. I poured myself a cup of tea, the kind I always drink when I want to remember. The kettle whistled softly, blending with the sound of the rain. I added honey instead of sugar, just like he used to remind me. Sugar makes it sweet, but honey makes it kind. I chuckled quietly at the memory. The tea was warm, but the memory was warmer. Outside, the wind brushed against the cabin walls like a lullaby. I thought about how quickly time moves and how it sometimes hides in the quiet moments. In a photo, a cup of tea, or a single night of rain. When you're young, you count the days. When you're old, you count the memories. The watch in my hand had stopped long ago, but in some small way it still worked. It kept every moment alive inside me. I placed it back inside the box, closed the lid softly, and felt something calm settle in my chest. The rain was falling when I finally stood up. The fire had grown smaller, whispering instead of roaring. I looked once more at the window. The forest outside was dark, quiet, and peaceful. It's strange, I whispered to myself, how a single photo can make the rain sound softer. I smiled, turned down the lamp, and let the sound of the rain take me to sleep.